that I dress like a 4-year-old. So apparently I know a lot of pedophiles. All right, on that note, your next comic is going to be very funny, very wholesome, and it's going to be awesome. Please give a warm welcome to Jamie Hecht, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Now it's on. Now it's on. Keep it going, you guys. This is so great. Funny women are the fucking best. Round of applause. This is awesome. So a little bit about me. I'm a newlywed. Thank you. A lot of times when you get engaged, people always ask you the same question. You know, they always ask, were you surprised? And I always find this really funny because we had been dating for 5 years. I had my ring picked out for 4 years. I had been trying to manipulate him into proposing to me for 2 years. So no, he didn't surprise me. He surrendered. And I really felt like it was time to get married, it's a really special institution. It's a really meaningful commitment, and my mom said she wouldn't do my taxes anymore. So, it was time. And another great benefit of finally being married is I don't have to be fake happy for other people. I get to be genuinely happy for other people. It's great. So now when people tell me they're engaged, I'm like, congratulations and welcome to the club. You have sex with your night guard still in. It's fun. It's fun. And I don't really think my husband and I got super aligned, on what we think is sexy. For me, I kind of like maybe like a tight, like a boy short, maybe a tank top, and for him, he likes me in things like lace and buckles and crotchless panties. And I do it because he pays our mortgage. I do it because I love him. And I think he might have got into his dad's Playboys like in the 90s and it's sort of like imprinted, But it's nice, where we come together, where we're aligned is with a full bush. I just like my men natural, I like my men natural. I can't help it. So we live here in DC and I suffer. I have my fair share of anxieties and stressors, but I get through it. I do drugs. No, I don't do drugs. I just smoke weed. Just smoke a lot of weed. And my husband doesn't necessarily love that I smoke weed. It's like, pardon me for getting slightly distracted while making the world's greatest plate of nachos and flooding our bathroom. But he puts up with it. He deals because we've been in a relationship for 6 years, but I have been in a long-term committed relationship with marijuana for 16 years, and we just don't give up on that. I see these things through, And, let's face it, we all know that marijuana is way safer than alcohol. When I was back in college, I did my fair share of drinking. I went to FSU. Anybody go to FSU? Woo! Am I the only one that did not get into my first choice school? So back in college, I went out with my boyfriend named Robbie, did some drinking. I went home with Robbie, or a guy that I thought was Robbie. It was a guy that just looked a little bit like Robbie. We got back to the apartment, and my friend was so pissed she threw a stapler at my head. Just for comparison, the other night I got stoned and just condoed my closet. So, just comparison there. You guys ever have this experience, in our quirky city, you're walking around and you see those folks with like the clipboards and the vests, the charity muggers, or I call them chuggers. I like to call them chuggers. I will pretty much do anything to get out of those conversations. The classic, like, I actually meant to walk this way. Or the, fake phone call, sorry. That one. I mean, I will legit fake a seizure if it would get me out of talking to Kevin from Amnesty International. And they really have the ability to make me feel like such an asshole because poor Kevin's like, do you have a minute to save the children? And I'm like, no, sorry, I'm late for yoga lattes. Good luck. So a lot of the women my age have kids, and I always feel like they're trying to recruit me. Yes. It's sort of like the army, but everyone's named Jessica and dressed head to toe in Lululemon. And And my friends give me a hard time. They're like, Jamie, you're 36. You're not getting any younger. Your uterus is rotting. Your fallopian tubes are just basically interior decor at this point. And I get upset. It's offensive. You don't really know what's happening behind closed doors. You don't really know my struggles. You don't know my sacrifice. I had been saving to buy a Roomba, and I just spent it on my 2 abortions. Okay, listen, there might be some conservative Republicans. You might be pro-life. Don't get upset. The father was Mexican. You guys, no one is getting into our country through my means. I would not. You guys, I would never abort a white baby. I'm not a monster. So yeah. Like I said, I'm 36 and I'm in this weird stage of life. I'm trying to make new friends. I lost a lot of my friends. They went through with their pregnancies. I was recently dumped by a friend. I don't know what happened. I don't think I sparked joy for her. I don't know. So it's hard when you break up with a girlfriend compared to a guy, because men are simple. If I was having a fight with a guy, I would just show up in something sexy, perform a half-ass hand job, and he would pretty much forget about my temper tantrum that I had in Home Depot. We're simple. Women, we're relationship ninjas, right? And we know how to hold a grudge. And it was particularly upsetting because it feels like a member of your tribe is turning on you, and it's confusing and it's puzzling. It's sort of that same feeling you get when you meet a gay Republican. That's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Keep it going for Jamie